Hey, Chris.
How you doing, Melissa?
Doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good. Don't know if Tom's gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know. I told him we could change the meeting to accommodate his schedule, but haven't heard anything.
Yeah. That's all right. You got the file I shared?
Uh-huh. Thanks. Did you share the meeting notes from last time?
I don't know. Pulling open what I have for the minutes. Don't know that I did send them out. Do you want to just review them now?
Yeah. I guess you should call the meeting to order.
Calling the meeting to order officially. Yes, and we can, so these are the minutes from last meeting. Do you want to take a look at them now and vote to approve, or we can wait till next time?
No, I think we can approve.
Okay, I don't know why we had, looks like we've got specifically stuff about this fuel oil and a couple other items. Do you think there's more like detail we should be including in these? As far as the minutes each week, I have some other notes on like just working on a draft kind of methodology write-up or like report, so we can pull together for the end. But as far as what goes in the documented minutes, does this seem like the right kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be extensive.
Right. Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes and yes. Okay. What's that? All right, so yeah, where do you want to?
So I did get some updated data from MAPC on the fuel oil. So I think what we had in there was from, if you want to open the file. So I think what we had in here was 2016 to 2020, right?
For fuel oil, let me go to that section.
Yeah, this one. Oh, sorry, it was 2013 to 2017. No, wait, 2016 to 2020. Is that what we got in there?
Yeah.
Okay. So they gave me 2017 to 2021.
Oh, okay. And this is just specifically, this is this data here, right? The housing.
No, it is just that percentage. So it's actually a lot different from what we got from the utility, like backing out just the gas accounts, because they didn't account for electricity. So there's quite, so let me just, I can share if you want to make me a co-host and I can show you the data I got.
Yeah. Okay, you are a co-host.
Can you see this file?
Yep.
So this is just the breakdown of fuel by owner occupied and renter occupied. So the utility doesn't take into account this big electricity usage because they were only looking at gas.
Right, we had the number of gas and we just assumed the rest was oil.
Right.
Yeah, because we were figuring it was a pretty small percent, but that looks.
Right, but there's actually like a huge amount of renters that use electricity for their heating. So I think that's why this data is probably better. So yeah, it's mostly the renter that's like shifts everything. So the fuel oil percentage is 35.38. Gas is 48.6, and then other is 16 to get to 100%. So I think we should use this 35 instead of what we got from Jen, which was just kind of an estimate.
Okay, and this is percent of homes heated by oil, so we're going with that. Okay. 35.38.
Yeah, so the majority is owner occupied fuel oil. I mean, it's still majority gas, but the fuel oil is a lower percentage because we have to take into account this other category. Which is
Right.
it's this electricity.
Right, and right, because we're really just trying to get to the fuel oil piece, so.
Yeah.
So just use that, okay. We should, can you send me that file?
Yep.
Or even just maybe paste it in as a new sheet in this shared one?
Yes. Let me find where that is here.
Or you can send it to me, it's easier.
I can't do that from Excel to Google,
Okay,
I don't think.
yeah,
So let me, unless I just create it, I'll just copy and paste it over if that works. Okay, so I just added a new tab called heating oil,
okay,
and that has the data that we were just looking at in it.
Cool. Bless you. All right, so that's good. That's better. I mean, this category I think still has issues in terms of, then we have to assume for each of those homes, what's the average fuel oil usage and but I think that's the best we can do.
What do you mean for each of those homes?
So it's taking the percentage of homes that are heated by fuel oil and then calculating how many homes are heated by fuel oil. And then for each home, it uses some like national median estimate of the amount of fuel oil used per household
Yeah.
to actually get to the oil usage and emissions.
Yeah.
But again, there's only so much that we can capture here. So it's good to have that.
I mean, if anything, this is gonna lower our emissions from fuel.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Was there a couple other?
You were gonna look at transportation, right?
Yep. So I updated down here. I updated this section. So this has the information about registered vehicles, type of fuel, and then these average daily vehicle miles traveled for commercial and non-commercial. So I think that's pretty much set. We had our municipal vehicle fuel consumption data entered in for Mass Energy Insights. And then for the MBTA stuff, for some reason the data from the MAPC data set that was linked is not in the same format that it is asking for in the tool. So I think I can get it to work. I just haven't untangled all of the formulas and stuff, but I think we'll just have to enter it a little differently because what it asks for is a city/town frequency weighted route distance. So that's miles per year. And then there's these numbers for line annual diesel consumption gallons per year. So for example, this doesn't apply to us, but MBTA Silver Line, it's got the total gallons. And then for each town, there's a value of the frequency weighted route distance in miles. So you take that as a percentage of the route total, and then it allocates the fuel accordingly. But instead, the MAPC data set was providing vehicle miles per divided up by fuel type. So I think it's essentially, yeah.
Are those real numbers or those old fake?
So, well, these were in here already, but
so that's from another city, right?
But I think it's these are properties of the MBTA services over here. So in other words, for our town, this would be 00, but we would have some number would be here. And this is saying all MBTA buses in total use this much diesel and this much CNG. And this is the total.
Those are just reference numbers.
Yes, that's what I think is happening here. This little asterisk says input by MAPC.
Where's it?
So if you see in this blue header here,
Oh,
This
yeah,
cell, this cell, and this cell,
yeah.
and then down here.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So what they've
But is this old data?
yeah, I mean, this was all in here. This was all in the tool.
Okay, then.
Wait, unless we can get that by.
I feel like we're mixing a lot of year data in here.
Yeah, this is, let me see what year this is. This is 2017. Yeah, so the data set, like if you click on this link, you can see it, the one in this cell here. But it's giving vehicle miles traveled by fuel type. So in other words, well, I pasted the data in over here. So like Wakefield bus mode, we've got 74,487 CNG miles for our town, for Wakefield. So if this is the correct total CNG consumption, and this is the correct frequency weighted distance, I suppose we can do the math to allocate some fraction of this CNG number, but it's just not set up that way to do that. And actually it's more complicated when there's multiple fuels involved, but we can probably estimate something.
Okay, so then we just need to get the bus. Is that commuter rail number correct?
Well, so it's the same thing here, where there's commuter rail miles, like vehicle miles in the diesel category is what they've given us, 57,907. So I guess if we took that number as a fraction of the total miles. Oh, but look at that. That's weird too. Why is this the same number as this? The diesel consumption gallons per year is the same as the miles per year. That doesn't make sense. And the guide didn't have any help on this really.
I can put you in touch with the MAPC people if you want to contact.
Yeah, I would like to ask them.
Yeah, let me forward you this email that I was with people on it that I was corresponding with.
Were they pretty responsive?
It took me a few tries because I think it got lost in the shuffle, but once they saw it, it was the reply that day.
Okay, yeah, so I can reach out there.
So when you click on the data common, does it give you the MBTA bus for Wakefield?
Yeah, so when you go to that table, it's like for each municipality served, and then each mode of transit, it's telling you the VMT, vehicle miles traveled, divided up by fuel type. So we got the Wakefield data, but it's just not in the same format that the tool's set up to take. And Like, I don't, so like with just that, just knowing VMT with diesel. I guess if we knew like the average bus mileage, we could calculate the diesel consumption knowing that, right?
Mhm.
But what it's looking for would be the total miles, and then it wants you to take that as a fraction of like all of the MBTA buses like total miles, and then
Yeah,
divide that, or multiply that by the total diesel, like actual diesel usage, which apparently there's like some numbers in here, but now I'm not sure if we should trust them, because
yeah,
like why would the commuter rail
yeah.
gallons of diesel and miles be the same? That doesn't make sense.
I think we need some help on this section.
Yeah. And this is also 2017 data. So that's interesting. They were able to send you something more recent than what was available in the data common, basically.
Well, because it wasn't like completely like published yet.
Hmm.
I had to go to this other database,
Cool.
and yeah, and I had to make that calculation of the percentage myself.
Right.
They just gave me like the raw data. So I think the data common like basically gives you like the answers, right, for all this instead of having to calculate stuff.
For the most part.
Yeah. So I think
right.
that's what they don't have like updated yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the tool seems like it's pretty well set up to draw on what's available in the data common. So,
But yeah, I mean, if they could give me 2021 data, then I feel like we should be able to get it for most things.
yeah. And like with this one, I think there's also just a question of with the data, with the VMT by fuel type that you're giving us here with this data common set, what do you like? How do you recommend we use that to convert to, total consumption?
Yeah. I mean, in the overall scheme of things, this is not a huge impact for Wakefield.
Yeah.
But I think we should at least try to get some good number.
Yeah, I think it's worth asking in this case. So I can reach out to them.
Okay, was there anything else that we had questions on?
I had a note here about population, which I think is just like one number at the end.
Yeah, didn't I give you that number? Or no? Updated from MAPC.
So it's using 2019.
Okay, yeah, I did get that number from Aaron. Okay, so the census estimate as of April 1st, 2020 is 27,090.
27,000. Okay, so it went up from 27,045 to 27,090. Okay, what was the source on that again?
The census.
What was the date that you said? 2020.
Yeah, now I'm wondering what year that is. She just said this is the census estimate as of April 1st, 2020. So assuming that's for 2019, or I don't even know.
Yeah, when was the census? (2020). That's all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, how often do they only do the census every? How often is it? Can't remember. Not that often, though.
I don't know. Every 4 years, I don't know. Presidential election.
Well, that's more recent than what we had. We obviously won't be able to like update that every year, but I don't think that makes a big impact on anything.
Yeah. Okay, so when I did ask MIPC about the vehicle census and the MBTA frequency weighted trip miles. And he said, we have not received updated data from RMB to update the vehicle census, so they're working on it. And the MBTA trip miles data is rather labor intensive. We haven't had time to fit it. Okay, so we can't get updated data for those.
Okay.
So I wouldn't bother asking them since I already did. So yeah, the only thing they could provide me was that fuel oil.
Okay. I mean, we could still ask them.
But you still don't know like what to put in there, right?
Right. It's just, yeah, it's a different data point than what the tool is set up for. So we could ask them if they have fielded other questions about that and if they have any suggestion of what to do.
Yeah.
So was it Lily?
Yeah, she's the analytical services manager.
Okay. Cool. All right, so that's a follow-up.
So that's really, so that the MBTA stuff is really the only thing we have left, right?
Yeah, I believe we've entered everything else.
Did we have, so the households housing type thing is in red, is that in red for, oh, because we were gonna ask the assessor's office?
Yeah, I think we were wondering if we might have, if that number could be updated. This is also, what is this, 2016, 2020?
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like we're mixing so many years in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the assessor's office would have like if we want to get 2021. Yeah, if we wanted to get 2021, we could.
You think we could get that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can contact them. That's on the fuel.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
No, that's okay.
No, I can probably get it because Anne from the DPW was getting us some assessor data for something else. So I'm wondering if she has it maybe already. So I can ask her, and if not, she could probably put me in touch with somebody.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I have it in my notes here. We had a different. Wait a second. I think you had a different number of total homes. 11,393 from Jen Calais. Does that ring a bell? Not the number so much, but the total. I think it's not broken out by the number of units, obviously, but you know.
Oh yeah. She did give me the total number of residential homes. But I don't know what that includes. Like, does that include multifamily, apartment buildings, everything?
So,
or is that just the number of like accounts they have? You know, I'm not sure that we should use that.
now, what about the what about the?
I feel like that was just the number of accounts they have. Or I don't know, maybe that is the right number.
But she had also given the percent of natural gas heated.
Yeah.
We had initially used that total number of homes and then that percent natural gas. Oh, we used the remainder. But I feel like a better number would be, or the best number we have might be from the heating oil data that you took, that you just got, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this does not have the breakout by unit type, but I sort of question how valuable that is, because all that's doing is using some different average amount of fuel oil use per year for those different types.
Yeah.
Like how close are those anyway? And this is also saying that the total percentage of homes is the same for each of those categories, which how would anyone know that? You know, it's not like 35.4% of each of those individual categories of home is heated with fuel oil. So we don't
Right.
have that, we don't have the resolution on that data either. So I think probably like the simplest and sort of most relevant would be to use this for the total, meaning the data that you just added in here for the total number of homes, which is like 13,000 something, and then the percentage fuel oil.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, we just won't have the that breakdown by type, which I'm assuming they have like some average usage by each of those, right?
Yeah, so they have a different for single family attached, multifamily.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of like helps you like identify like your target, like people to switch over. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, it's better because ultimately, as we track this, if we were going to track this year over year for, you know, going on in the future, we would want to see that percentage of fuel oil homes ideally going down. And it would be based on like our actual number of homes in the town. So it's just a little bit more relevant to us, even if the estimate of gallons per home is just an estimate. At least the part we can sort of keep track of is that percentage.
Right.
What's interesting is, I think you brought this up last time, that it could be a fuel oil heated home and it could stay that way even if, like they say, let's say they installed heat pumps and use that as the primary heat source, and you know, fuel oil was just a backup, and that might not show up here. But
I mean, I would hope it shows up in like the census data.
yeah, I mean, do you think that that would be something that's tracked?
Well, I got this other thing from Aaron. It was like a special heating support initiative in Wakefield. So it says 38.7% of occupied housing units utilize oil, which is a total of 4,150 units. According to the utility, natural gas, oh, don't care about that, prices. Yeah, she just told me that the housing stats came from the census. So I'm wondering if like they collect this data in the census for heating oil. I don't really know. It's not clear. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I think if we can get. So this data is 2016 to 2020. Wondering if they have the same updated data for this housing type. So we can at least have it in the same year for both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it makes sense to get like more recent data from the assessor's office and then have this be old data. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder, like, so where do you think MATC get their data? Yeah.
They have magic.
But they show that margin of error. So it's got to be some kind of survey or statistical sampling or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, American Community Survey. That's what it's from.
Okay.
That's what the data common data is from. Whatever that means.
We might have to start going door to door. Yeah, my thinking is, you know, we've got these numbers on homes heated with different fuels. So
Yeah, I feel like this data is good enough because I don't think the number of households from like adding 2021 or no. What are we adding?
half of 20 and half of 21, right?
You put 2017 to 2020. I think it's 2021. And your note for the percent.
Yeah, this on the heating oil tab at the top, it says 2017, 2020.
Oh, did I label that wrong? Oh yeah, that should be 2021. Sorry.
Okay. The thing I just want to like put into context is what is the total, like what's the total fuel oil emissions relative to everything else? Stationary buildings. 30,000. Yeah, that did. It's not insignificant.
Yeah.
So it's about the way we have it currently entered. It's about 15% of everything that we've inventoried.
Um, there. I just updated it. So what's your conclusion? Sorry.
Well, I think what I'm thinking is that the best data that we have is this heating oil data to 2017, 2021.
Mhm.
It tells us the total number of homes heated with fuel oil. What we don't have is the breakout by type, but to me, because we're just using a different, total estimate really of the total annual usage per home anyway, that even if we just sort of arbitrarily categorize them all as detached single family and used whatever that number of gallons per year estimate was, that's probably about as good as we can expect to do for accuracy.
Yeah.
And the data you got was basically the same kind of data that's available from the data common, just hasn't been officially put there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think they have like a lot of raw data. They just need to like reconfigure it for the data common.
Yeah. All right, so this is going to be plus. All right.
Where'd you get that number? 38.
Where are you?
P8 plus P18. Oh, okay.
Is that right? So is that would be the because it's split into owner and renter, right?
Yeah. But I mean, we don't know. There's different types of houses.
Yeah.
Different owner occupied houses.
Yeah.
I don't know if the detached and attached one unit is. What does that even mean? That just means garage.
Would that be like condos? Because each unit is a like single family unit, but it's attached to others, as opposed to like a multifamily apartment building, which is
Yeah, so it could be like just side by side condos.
yeah, like row houses or something, townhouses.
Okay, so you think putting it in one bucket is okay?
I think, yeah, that would be my opinion. And then if we wanted to,
But that is, I mean, I think, I don't know if it makes sense to just take the heating oil. Because isn't it like separate? This, like, the top is just asking for like overall housing type.
right,
And then the second part, the bottom is just heating oil. Like
right,
the top is just like a generic, doesn't have anything to do with heating oil.
right. Which is why this calculation's a little kind of arbitrary anyway, or inaccurate, I should say. It's basically saying, put in how many types of each unit, and then what percentage of homes in the community are heated with oil. Then it takes that percentage and multiplies it across all those categories to come up with the number of homes for each type that are heated by fuel oil. Then it has a different gallons a year for each type. So, we don't have data that reflects that. So my take would be, just for simplicity, keep it all in one category. So now it's going to multiply by the percentage. So we'll have an accurate number of homes heated by oil. Then the question is just how many gallons per year does each of those homes use?
Yeah, but that's gonna take it's not gonna take 35% of the total. It's gonna take 35% of just the heating oil.
No, the way this is set up, it's taking 35% of each of these categories based off of what you put in here.
Okay.
Right, because let me
So
see.
you don't think we should just put the total 13,000?
Wait, sorry, it's 13.
Oh, sorry, no, it's 10.
Yeah, 10 is the total, right? I thought it was 13.
I was looking at the wrong.
Yeah.
My brain is fried.
Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, okay, so that's the total number of households. Which I guess that makes sense because we have 27,000 people. Yeah, okay. I think that's fine. We just need to make a note.
Yeah,
We remember what we did here.
yeah, definitely. Okay. So yeah, if you go over to it's so the stationary energy buildings sheet kind of shows it how it all breaks down.
So yeah, we just won't have the housing type. Great.
Yeah, and since we don't have the housing type, to me, it makes more sense to, if we wanted to, we could adjust the, the average, site energy consumption of fuel oil in gallons per year per site. Because if we're putting them all into single family, it's like the highest usage category, so it might be a little weighted a little too heavily towards single family detached. But rather than sort of like invent a breakdown across those different types, we could make it some adjustment factor to the average usage per home or something like that. But we don't even know what that would be, so I don't think there's a lot more we can do.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we should just leave that MAPC data in there. Just so we don't have to like reconfigure the results. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, I took it out. There we go. I did undo.
Yeah, I would just leave it. Because then we're not putting everything into one bucket and not having to reconfigure. Let the model do its work,
Okay, yeah. I sort of forgot we did have that breakdown initially.
Yeah, it was just using the older data.
Right. Actually, but if you look at this total, it's pretty close to the
Yeah,
total now.
yeah.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay. Yeah, now that we have kind of like the total, it's really not that different. I mean, it's not going to change that much from one year to the next with like,
Right.
We're not building like, I mean, I guess some years we're building larger apartment buildings, but.
Right. I remember we saw this number last time and found it surprising, the 1,020 or more units.
Oh yeah. I don't know. If that means there's like 1,000 buildings that have 20 more units, that doesn't seem right. Or if there's just like,
Well, it would be 1,000 units in buildings that, that are of a type that are 20 or more
there's
units,
1,000 people.
households.
Yeah. Households, whatever that means.
Like a unit, a dwelling. Right. So, but.
Yeah,
that's-
but a household could be any number of people, right?
Right, so it's not by person, it's by like housing unit. So it's saying that there's 1,000 units that are made up or that are within buildings that are 20 or more units.
Yeah, 1,000 buildings. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it would be like 50, 20 unit buildings, like 1,000, right? Which still seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Like 10 100 unit buildings, or there are 10, there could be, right? There could be 10 buildings with 100 units in town.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's also just a weirdly round number.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you want to double check that, or we could ask MAPC if they have that data updated. Did I ask them that? No, I can't remember.
They just made that one up.
No, I didn't specifically ask them. I only asked them the fuel oil. I didn't specifically ask them the housing type thing. Do you want me to ask if they have them updated?
Ask what?
The households by housing type.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I assume they would have that.
Sorry, you mean if they have a more current one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because I only asked them the fuel oil.
Oh, actually, this is, well, it's 16 to 20, 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, that's probably fine because we just saw that it wasn't a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Let's just leave it. Because it was like it's 10,722 versus 10,849.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. We just need to make a note that it's just different by year.
Right.
Okay, so I think the only thing we need, you said you're going to follow up with MAPC on this MBTA stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah.
So I never got the school waste data, so I'll just make a note that doesn't
Doesn't include school. Oh, that. What's the deal with that? It's a separate content?
Yeah.
Okay.
because the DPW has their own contract for residential, and then the schools has their own contract for the schools.
Right, and then we don't know about the private hauler.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody's supposed to get that data.
Yeah. And you said this also added in. It's like DPW does collect from parks and Main Street, so.
Yeah.
And I think you got that, right? So that's
Yeah.
included in the municipally collected, yeah. Okay,
I mean, I emailed the person from Republic like a million times, but I could try it one more time.
for what? Oh, for the,
Yeah, because I don't know, I don't see why they. I don't know. It's probably, it may be hard to get that because like the trucks that go around the streets are just collecting for Wakefield, so you know when they go to the facility, that's just Wakefield.
mhm,
But if they're just collecting for the schools, they may be combining it with other things. So maybe that's why it's not possible to get it.
oh, so you had tried asking them about the school.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Um. Yeah. Okay. So looking at my email, the person said the schools are not weighed individually. They're collected with multiple locations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not possible to get to just single out the schools.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Well, hopefully what the schools throw out is a very small fraction of what all of the homes in town do.
Uh, they accumulate a lot of trash there. Luckily, we're composting a small amount at a few schools.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I just made a note there about the school data.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll follow up with MAPC and the MBTA, and then so you had told the ESC that we would present something at the next meeting, right?
I said hopefully, but yeah, what do you think about that?
So our next meeting is March 9th. That only gives us 3 weeks. And I'm gonna be on vacation the week before that meeting.
Okay.
So I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we could just like, I mean, there's graphs already in here, report charts.
Yeah, maybe,
We could just show those.
yeah, I think, right, I think we could, I mean, we could just give a, you know, a little bit more of an update on where we are, you know, show what we have. You know, considering it's still kind of draft form. And then we talked about, you know, sort of sharing this and then also, so, you know, maybe we could do it in two steps, right? We could kind of just do an update on where we are with the draft, share some of the information, but then for the following meeting, sort of like ask people to think a bit about, you know, what collectively kind of what do we think and what should we do with this information and how do we want to publish it, if so, if at all. And like other suggestions or, you know, recommendations. We, you know, jotted down a couple things along the way about, you know, getting better information from Gas and Light about like participation in the heat pump program or something like that. And other possible things that this has sort of like illuminated for us. So what do you think? Should we do that? Should we plan to do like a little kind of draft report out in March, but then dig a little deeper the meeting after that?
I think that this graph data is not really showing up, so we need to fix that. But I think we should show them, like, you know, kind of our draft results on these graphs, and which will kind of show like what sectors, you know, have the most emissions, which is going to be transportation and buildings, and kind of ask them, like, you know, what do you think we should kind of focus on as like an initiative to reduce these specific emissions, like, you know, that is not already being done by like the utility or whatever. Like, you know, for buildings, we could do the specialized stretch code in heat pumps, and, you know, like kind of get their, like, get some ideas flowing. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little brainstorming session. Because if we say, like, think about it to the next meeting, they're not going to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't, even if there's a couple additional adjustments to this that we need
Yeah,
to
we
make.
could say, like, hey, like, the draft results, like, what kind of sticks out to you? What do you think, you know, would be, you know, some initiatives that we could work on based on these results? Like, just let's hear their thoughts, and, you know, and then, you know, take those ideas and then kind of see, you know, are those ideas already being done? Like, if they're not, then like what can we do to kind of make those happen? Because I mean, what other towns have done, like Melrose, they basically created a climate change plan.
Yeah.
Which is a huge endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, to me, that's a good question too. You know, is this, now that we have this, or we have a starting point, you know, what are the next steps, and do we publish this, or do we, you know, is there just sharing with the community that should happen?
Yeah.
Just as the baseline, you know, and getting input from, you know, the whole community about, like, you know, what does this mean to you, and what should we do next, and
yeah, I mean, I think we should definitely share with utility. Yeah, I think we should just like get their thoughts, and like, what do you think the next step should be?
Okay.
Because we can't decide it. We should decide as a group.
So did Melrose do, so they did a climate action plan, did we determine
They
they?
worked with MAPC.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, if we want to do the same, we'd have to like get a grant and do all that.
Yeah,
And they have a sustainability manager who's,
yeah, that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
Just having somebody to manage that process and.
Yeah.
um,
but I know like other towns like Wayland, they only have a committee and they created their plan. The committee created it.
Yeah. Did they use any other outside?
I don't think so.
Work?
So, I mean, you know, there's examples of both.
Yeah.
I mean, theirs wasn't very like data heavy, you know, I think it was just like, you know, the data coming from the inventory and then just like, okay, so 80% is coming from buildings, like what are some things we could do to buildings?
Right.
That's basically what they did. And that's, I think, what we should do. Like have just like, okay, like how are we gonna tackle this category? Okay, here's all these ideas. Like what's already being done? What can we do? What's feasible? So I think that's kind of where we should go.
Yeah, I agree. I think getting some dialogue going in the next meeting.
Yeah, so like Wayland's plan was basically just like a document that like outlined like here's where we are and here's all the like initiatives we're gonna do to tackle all these different categories. And they had, I mean, you need to also have a target, like they had a target of emissions reduction by, you know, a certain year.
Now, was theirs, so the committee generated that, and was it sort of like signed off on by other town administration? Like, especially if it had a specific goal and.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, I think they even like did something for town meeting.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I know we had, one of the things we can do now too is as we dial in our final numbers and stuff, but we were talking about some other benchmarking and, just other kind of like peer comparison.
Oh, you know what they did in Wayland? They, at town meeting, they declared a climate emergency.
Yeah.
Let's try to do that at this town meeting. Nobody's gonna show up. It's on a Monday night in May, after the school vote. I seriously don't think anybody's gonna show.
It's in May.
Yeah. But we need to have the like articles done by April. I don't know, Julie just told me the other day, yesterday, April 7th is when they're due. We can put it forward at the next meeting. As an idea.
Okay.
Okay, so the select board directed the committee to draft the climate action plan. So that's how it happened in Wayland. The town voted for a climate emergency. And they developed a climate action mobilization plan. Oh, I guess that's what this is. Achieve minimum 50% reduction by 2030.
Actually, I know one of the guys on this committee.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have like some like consultants on their committee that like do this for a living.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just an idea. But yeah, I think for the next ESC meeting, we should hopefully get these graphs working and show them.
Yeah, I think that was just a Google Sheets thing. I can try to pull this back down into
Yeah.
make sure
Okay.
it's working.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, getting it out there, and start some discussion with the committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So yeah, in the meanwhile, if we could finish off those last couple things. So we could have something by the 9th.
Yes, yeah, it looks like, right, the key thing I think is this MBTA.
Yeah, so I would try to email them sooner rather than later because it may take them a while to get back.
Okay. And you said Lily's the best person, right? Should I copy these other people?
Yeah, I would include those other people. You can CC me.
Yeah.
So that they know that we're like working together.
Yeah.
I think the other people were like planners or something.
Great.
Okay.
All right, anything else we should cover tonight?
I don't think so. Almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll copy on that, keep you in the loop on any updates, and then we'll meet again with the committee on the 9th.
Yeah, I mean, we can obviously, if you want to have like a short call before that to kind of look at the charts or something, or if you want to like email back and forth, I don't know, just to make sure that we like have something to show for that meeting.
Yeah. You said you're out the week before, right?
Yeah, so I'm out the 1st to the 4th, so just half the week before.
Okay. Do you want to plan to do something like earlier in the week of the 9th, or the week of like the 6th?
Like have a call?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we do like a check-in?
Yeah, not an official meeting.
I don't think we need official. I don't know.
We won't deliberate. We'll just.
Yeah, do you want to do the 6th, that night?
Yeah.
How do you want to meet? Do you have Zoom?
I can do Zoom or Google Meet or.
Okay, I don't, yeah, if you have a Zoom account, then I'll just do that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right, 7:30.
Yep, that works.
Okay. Cool. Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right. Cool.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.